The thing that I was thinking about is I think an overarching idea that I've grabbed onto in the last few years that's different from my way of thinking in the past
Yeah.
is to design protocols for things, follow them over a long term,
Hmm.
and then observe like changes, benefits, and differences. And also during like following those protocols, try and spend time learning about the protocol, right? And then adjusting whether I'm doing it right or wrong. Because I think a lot of the times what we try to do is we try to come up with the perfect set of information. We try to fully understand it, and then we deliver it to people. When the
Hmm.
reality is that's actually pretty hard to do because things are changing so fast. There's so many angles you can approach something with. And for me, it's just fun to explore from one person study on
Hmm.
myself and see, hey, do I notice a change? Do I
Yeah.
feel different? Is this working? And so, you're saying I know a lot about the nutrition side. I don't know that I've like I think I'm just on the tip of the iceberg with it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the advantage that I think that I have at this point being 45 years old is I've been consistently running for over 30 years and doing the same things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if I make a nutritional change and I feel a benefit, see a benefit, notice a change, it's not because I'm getting younger. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not because I'm sleeping better. It's not because there's some variable that potentially could influence it in a way that would throw the study off. And so I think about like a high school athlete. You could give them so many things, and you don't really know why they're getting better from a nutritional standpoint if that's the thing you're changing because their hormones are solid, like they're rock solid. So I think that is the thing that I'm taking advantage of as a 45-year-old is messing around with some of these nutritional things and seeing like boom, a quick change
Yeah.
within, and quick is relative, within months of doing them, and then I'm like, "Oh, this has to be working."
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny too because in grad school, physical therapy, we had it's a graduate level program. We're clinical doctors. We have to learn how to read research and read a research paper and know this is a good study. This is a poorly designed study. And it's funny that the lowest level of research is like um it's like your clinical opinion and like sample size of one. Like that's like the lowest level of research. But I think there is a bit like someone who has experience with it that's done it for so long. Like research can only do so much. Like, I think for instance, back in the 60s, 50s, 40s, 60s, they said giving your knees over your toes is a horrible thing. Well, like no one can run because your knee goes over your toe. So research is great. It's just it says you have more compression on your kneecap, right, where your knee is, but like yeah, it's fine as long as it's not making your knee painful. So yeah, research is great, but I think sometimes it is very beneficial to say taking I think case studies of like a very low level of like a research, but we still learn a lot from that because someone like yourself who hey you're living it. Uh, yeah, you've been said running for 30 years, like that's a lot of experience. Plus, you're adding this on. And for me, I never really jumped on the nutrition or the supplement train till recently. I started taking creatine because I wanna build my strength up, and I just want to have more of a kick when I like running fast. And even when for my marketing and for my business, I drop into CrossFit gyms and like I do the bike and I'm like, man, I'm keeping up with guys now that are like they're bigger than me, and typically they would crush me on the bike, and I'm keeping up with them. Like I think it's creatine. It's probably helping me doing these fast echo bike things. So
Yep.
I'm in myself. I don't know. I'm assuming it's from the creatine because like we know it works. It's the most researched supplement out there. But yeah, I think there is something to say about doing something like you take a supplement. Hopefully, it's not a placebo effect. I guess it could be, but we know these things work and how they actually work.
Yeah, and part of this conversation with me and you over text was, and this goes all the way back to a couple of years ago or a year ago when we were talking about isometric loading.
Mm. Yeah,
And uh, I like reading research, and I like reading the research and then parsing out the coaching side of it. Like that's really the way my mind works. Like I am a coach. Like that is what I do. That's the way I think. And so when I read research, I'm reading it through the lens of a coach. And I'm
yeah,
reading it in a way, okay, how can I manipulate this ultimately to my own success?
yeah,
And then once I understand it, then I can divvy it out to anyone I interact with as and I really like the word protocol. And the
Mm.
reason I like protocol is like with this tendon isometric, and now adding collagen and vitamin C to it, the tendon loading. Now I've created this protocol where I've got a set of exercises. If you are a runner and you want to have good lower leg stability, strength, and not get hurt, I've
Mm.
got the protocol and I can easily and clearly deliver it and say, do this. And then if you are injured and you have a tendon ligament injury, now there's a nutritional protocol that can be delivered with the tendon loading protocol.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
is it perfect and does it is it ubiquitous for everyone in every scenario? No, but protocols are really important because they give you like this baseline of where to start, and then you can deviate, off in one direction or the other. So
yeah,
with all that, I have a question for you.
yeah, yeah,
So I heard this very often. I hear PTs, exercise scientists, coaches talk about confusing the body and doing different stuff all the time.
Mm.
I never quite. I was always like, man, when I give an athlete from the coach lens, when I give an athlete 30 things to do over 3 months, and they've got 30 exercises they have to learn, be good at, and now they have to accomplish them over these few months. Most people struggle with that. Whereas when I find five key things, and instead of treating it like a body confusion, like remember P90X?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Like we
remember that.
want to confuse the body, always throw something different. Like I recently heard somebody talk about stop doing that.
Mhm.
Let's think of these exercises as skills. And if we learn the skill of the hex bar deadlift, and if we learn the skill of double leg to single leg to double leg box jump, right? You're double, you go up single, you come down double. Like it's not complex, but if you learn that skill, let's focus on that for like months. And let's get really good at these skills instead
Yeah.
of broad stroking everything. So, two questions on that. What are your thoughts on that idea? And then also specifically on protocol with the tendon loading. What are your thoughts and what have you learned on that since we've talked about it last?
Yeah, yeah. I might forget the second question, Jay, so I'm probably gonna go off on a tangent with the first one.
Sure.
Yeah, I think, when you're talking about do we want to confuse things, I don't know. Just it's just the wordage. I think so many things as I've grown as a physical therapist, I've grown as a business owner. Psychologically, you say something like especially in marketing, like you say something you want to get a response. Like you want people to click what you posted and like when someone says, I want to confuse the muscles, it's kind of clickbaity. I understand what
Yep.
you're trying to say, but the average person are like, ooh, what does that mean? And it's, yeah, I would much rather, like, yeah, let's take two examples, right? I think it takes, what, 10,000 hours to become a master at something, to really become good at it. So I'm a bigger fan of become really good at something and then branch off of that. And I've done that myself. I became really good at treating runners. Now we treat more than that, but like I became really good at just one thing. So if I have someone where, they're in the, like, I'll take patients for instance, like they're coming in to see me, they have knee pain, and they say they got five big things that are giving them issues. Let's instead of giving them 20 exercises, let me give you five. Become really good at these. So many runners, Jay, have no idea how to hip hinge. Like they cannot deadlift, which is probably most runners they just do a hex bar deadlift because it's kind of half a squat, half a deadlift. Like a full hinge, like most I have runners that I'm like, especially youth runners, they've never no idea what they're doing. They're rounding their back, they're like it's like all back rounding. I'm like, we gotta teach you the hinge. I'm like, and that's probably gonna solve some issues as running, part of running is a pull. And if we could teach you to pull better, it's going to improve your running. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of, first of all, saying I want to confuse muscles. Like, yeah, like you want to challenge your body. You just want to challenge things. But for instance, let's say you're doing, you have back issues and we want to build your back up and want to get your back stronger. And we're doing hyperextension, which I think you have one in I know you have one in your home gym, right? Like we're doing those. And maybe first week we do body weight. 2 weeks later or a week later, maybe we add a 10-pound weight that we're holding. We're progressively loading, becoming better at this, and this is how you're going to bulletproof your back. We're not going to do hyperextensions and then side planks, and then maybe we just never increase the weight. We're just constantly varying it. Well, like, we're going to be spinning our wheels. So I mean, you can vary things. There's a benefit to it, but yeah, I'm a bigger fan of let's. And I think this is a little less popular because it's kind of boring, but like let's progressively load you. And this is what I mean. This is literally what powerlifters do, like bench, squat, deadlift. Um, they're getting better at like they just do those things all the time and they get better at it, right? They're definitely not running. Those guys are huge. Maybe they do a little walking on a treadmill, but they're probably not running. So they become really good at these things. They're kind of niching down. I'm a fan of niching down, but for runners, it's what do we do? We're probably pretty good at running because we do it all the time, and we're going to be lacking in the strength department. So at let's become really good at some things and not be the jack of all trades and be like mediocre at everything. I don't know. That's just what I think is probably a better way to think about it and go about it.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that. And I also agree with it from the standpoint of it simplifies things.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to run well, like the ideal scenario is you understand your lifts in the gym,
Mhm.
you are proficient at them, and you can go into the gym, you knock those suckers out, you do them really, really well. You either gain some strength, or maybe in some scenarios, you are really good at lifting. And so maybe you're just maintaining. And
Yeah.
that's all you need to do. You don't need to gain strength because at some point gaining strength and overloading, you're going to have to get some girth size to the muscle in order to get stronger. And maybe you
Yeah.
don't want that. Maybe you just want to stay the same size and you want to be efficient and capable of going and running again tomorrow. So I think I'm so glad you said that because I agree with it. And I think that is once you realize that as an athlete, like there's some freedom there because then you don't really have to learn a bunch of new stuff all the time. You can
Mhm.
have your quote unquote protocol. You can
Yeah.
go to the gym, you can knock that sucker out, and then you can get back to the thing and the sport that you're actually trying to do, which is run. You're not trying to become a weightlifter.
Yeah.
Um, and then second question is on the like, what have you learned since we last talked on isometric loading? And I would say I really haven't changed very much with what I've been doing. I've just been loading knee, hip, Achilles with 30, well, 6 second really heavy,
Yeah.
30 second a little bit lighter, and then up to 45 second a little bit lighter, and mixing those, doing some
Yeah.
slow calf raises, wall sits, hamstring bridges with weight. And it
Yeah.
seems like there have been several athletes that have had like some Achilles flare up early,
Mhm.
and we've like jumped on it and taken away some of the running load, given them a progressive protocol of isometric loading, and
Yeah.
then it is gone.
Yeah, yeah. That's good.
no problem. And for me, the experiment of one, the lowest level of experiment, as you put, which
Yeah, a little quality, right?
I totally agree with. Um, Man, I used to have so many lower leg issues, calves, feet, soleus. Since I started isometric loading several years ago, like, dude, I'm rock solid, and my feet and legs, they're like more like pogo sticks. Like they
Yeah,
bounce. Like
good.
I have good lower leg bounce. And especially for a 45-year-old, to see that reversal, I was like, dude, I found some gold here.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where yeah, the bounce is interesting because you're like, how does that improve bounce, which we'll get into. But I remember, it's just a side note, but I remember when I was in high school and going to okay, I'm not going to say names, but going to the local PT where I'm from in New York and just like having issues with running and then getting like body weight exercises and stretching and foam rolling. Honestly, the foam rolling probably helped more than anything that I was doing. But looking back at that now, I'm like, man, I wish I could go back in time and just like treat myself.
Same here. I wish I could go back to high school, dude.
Would have crushed my high school season. Like I couldn't run cross country my senior year. I had a good indoor track season, but I was out for I think a knee issue. But yeah, I wish I could go back because I would have yeah, I would definitely would have been running some faster times. And I think really quick, Jake, you know, mind if I get into like why um what was the question again? It was asking why like any new things with isometrics, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like, what have you learned in like, yeah, explain the why. I mean, I love all the whys.
Yeah, the why is interesting. So I think yeah, before we get into the why, like I just want to make sure we kind of hit this point home that running is it's a lot of elastic energy. And that elasticity it comes from your tendons. It's muscles too, but it really the tendons like the powerhouse of running. Typically, I've looking up some research. It's around like 50% of the energy we get from running is from that tendon recoil. Some studies say like 70%. I'm like that's a lot, but typically it's around 50%. We get a little walking's kind of similar. You get like 30% of like you get a lot of elastic energy from walking as well. But running you get even more. And so you just use your tendons a whole bunch when you're running. And this is why you get those Achilles tendon issues because that Achilles tendon, I mean, the calf's the most used muscle when you run. That soleus muscle, I mean, that thing is it could just go forever. But typically, when it gets overused, it's weak. The Achilles tendon tends to flare up, so it is a chronic overuse thing. So when we're looking at a runner and someone who's injured, I'm like, tendon issues, we're definitely doing isometrics, and even like knee issues, we're gonna be doing isometrics. Just once you understand running, it's that elastic recoil, isometrics, and strength training, not just isometric, but strength training. It you want to have. We talk about bounce. You want to have a stiff tendon. I mean, it's like you want a stiff spring. Like tendons are springs. They are think of them as the same thing. I don't want this loose spring because when I stretch it and let go, it'll recoil, but it's not going to have that quick force. I want a tendon where I have to like yank it apart and I let go, it's going to smack back together. That's what gives you that hop. That's what's that springiness when you're jumping, and that's what's gonna. I mean, you got springiness when you run. You're an efficient runner, and you're probably gonna keep injuries away, and you're gonna have healthy tendons. So that's why we're doing this. Is we strength training isometrics, and there's certain isometrics we'll get into, Jay, that really help build it up a little bit better. But yeah, you want to. This is why slow and like you. We want to do jumping stuff. We want to be fast, but we also want to be slow and get heavy and load the heck out of that Achilles tendon. Other tendons too. Like you can do this for your patellar tendon, and there's other tendons in your ankles as well that you can hit. But that's why we want to do it. Like we want that tendon to be stiff and strong and healthy. But the cool thing is when we come to isometrics, honestly too, if someone's like, I don't want to do isos, dude, just strength train. Like the easiest thing someone can do is just start to load the darn thing and heavy slow calf raises. Like that is bent knee's better because the soleus gets it. Like bent knee, it makes up more of the Achilles, that soleus. So yeah, just someone's like, what do I do? I don't isometrics are too much. Dude, just load it. Just start doing calf raises. That's like
You
the
know, I would say like if somebody's pushing back on isometrics, oh my gosh, I would push back on them to do them.
yeah, yeah.
And the especially as a runner, and the reason is they don't make you sore.
Yep.
And if you have 18 miles in your legs that day, you can still do them.
Yep.
And I think sometimes the pushback of runners is like I've experienced this my whole life is we're doing such a repetitive motion and so much volume that
Mhm.
going to the gym, like doing slow calf raises after you've got 18, 22 miles in your legs, they hurt.
Yep.
Like your legs are stiff, like they're dehydrated, you're tired, like your proprioception's not good after that. But you can lay on. I like doing my isometrics on the squats. What do they call it? The leg press, the
Oh, yeah.
45-degree leg press. And
Yeah.
I can get on that as tired as you want to make me. And I can get my knee bent to 30 degrees, my foot oriented different ways, and I'm totally fine. I can do a hold for 30 seconds. And
Yeah.
it's
So
hard. It's hard, but it's not the same as a slow calf raise after doing all that and going negative, like really challenging the Achilles and calcaneus and the back of the heel when I
yep.
have that many miles for the day. That's also dangerous,
Yeah, it's a
like
lot.
putting
Audible.
me in a compromising position, whereas I can go hit that on that after that hard workout totally fine. And not only totally fine, actually feel better the next day after having done it. So yeah, that's to your point of like this is what you want to do. You want to load that tendon.
Yeah, that's a good point. I almost want to, and yeah, I feel like you actually could say like, hey, instead of strength training, just do the isos. Like you, because I mean, there's an argument for both, but that is a really good point, Jay. That when you're running, and I remember Ryan Hall talked about this when we run free camp, I think 2 years ago. It's like the problem with just doing lots of heavy lifting when you're really, I mean, you're 50, 60 miles a week, like dude, you're gonna be sore. Like if you're especially if you're not used to strength training and you just jump into it, like dude, you're gonna be really sore and your lifting is gonna take away from your running. So you kind of you can get away with it if you're used to lifting and you get that mileage up. Like you could probably handle a little bit more, but it's this delicate balance. It's this dance of I want to load. I want to strength train, but also if you do too much, it's going to take away from your training volume, from your running volume. So that is, I know that can be a problem.
The way I think of it is every week, if I'm going to miss anything, it's not going to be my isometric loading.
Yep.
And I'm still going to try and lift, but if I'm going to miss anything, I'm going to miss the movement lifts. I'm not going to miss my isos. I'm not going to miss my hamstrings. I'm not going to miss my quads. I'm not going to miss my calves. And the good thing is, if you do 45-degree or 80-degree wall sit, you can get on your toes and you're getting calf, hamstring, glute, quad isometrics. And then
Yeah.
when you do laying down, you can put a plate on your lap or a dumbbell on one side, and you can do single leg hip bridge isometrics also on your toes. And then you're getting all your posterior chain, your glutes, you're getting hamstrings, you're getting calf. Then
Mhm.
you can do a like a wall press, glute
Yep.
isometric, holding a dumbbell on the side, and you're getting some quad, you're getting some calf, you're getting glute, you're getting low back, and then you get on the leg press and you're getting all of it. Honestly, you're getting all of it. Like you put 300 pounds on the leg press and you're going to get calves, and you do a you know 20-degree knee bend, you're going to
Yep.
get calf, you're going to get soleus, you're going to get your Achilles, you're going to get your perineals, you're going to get your knee, you're going to get your hip, you're getting everything. So I
Yeah.
think I think that's important too, to think of it like put yourself in position where you get more for your buck.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good point. And it's a good segue, I think, into like the two different kinds of isometrics. And also, and really quick too, I just want to make sure people know that like running, it's very tendon heavy. You get that recoil, and the muscles actually act very isometrically. When you're running, the muscles they are moving. I'm like they are contracting, but they're actually tensioning the tendons, and then a lot of movements going through that tendon. Like the Achilles tendon, the calf is pulling on it, and the tendon just stretches and recoils like that spring. So the muscles act very isometrically. So it actually is a very running specific way to actually like target the muscle. I just want to make sure that like I just want to like if it's weird to think about, but those muscles they've like the quads, the hamstrings, especially the calf, they just act more isometrically. For sure the calf. But the two different kinds of isos, there's I call them high load and low load. Another name for them is yielding and overcoming isometric contractions. I forgot which one's which. I just call them high load and low load. So the low load ones, these are great for, I use them all the time, low load ones. And I would recommend, and you can do these every day. Like the great part about this, even the high load is, we already talked about it. You're not going to build up, like the risk of injury is practically zero. And you're not going to build up any like metabolic fatiguing or any fatiguing in the muscle that's going to translate into is going to affect your run later. Like the muscle is contracting, but it's not actively lengthening or shortening. So you don't build up. You're not right tearing the muscle. You're not building up any of that metabolic waste. So it's great for just keeping the muscles and not getting that soreness later, or that delayed onset muscle soreness, the DOMS, right? It's which you might get after a hard workout. But low load isometrics, typically you want to hold between 30% to 60% of your body weight. If that's a lot, like I weigh 160 now, 30% for me is it's like 52 pounds or 53 pounds, whatever that is. If you're not used to holding that weight, that's fine. You can just do body weight. You can just slowly kind of, because some people are just not used to holding a 30-pound dumbbell. Like you can kind of slowly build that up. But holding the weight for around 30 seconds to 45 seconds is the goal. And what you're going to get out of that is it's immediate. It's actually two things. It's immediate pain relief. So it's great for knee pain. It's great for tendon pain. And it's not, it will probably help the tendon remodel. It's not high load does a little bit more of that than the low load does, but it does this thing, Jay, where it's called cortical inhibition. And then I'm trying to remember what we talked about last time. So if I'm repeating myself, I don't know if I am, but it's essentially holding that isometric is a signal to your brain. Like if you have knee pain when you run, what will typically happen is your brain says you have knee pain. We want to protect your knee. We're going to turn those muscles off because we want to safeguard your knee. So kind of like back pain. People that have back pain, they typically have weak back muscles and core muscles because your brain's telling you, "Hey, turn those muscles off. We want to protect the back." It's weird, this weird feedback loop that we have until it heals. And so what this cortical inhibition does is it says, "Hey, hold that position for 30 to 45 seconds with that appropriate weight," and it turns that signal off. It says, "Oh, this is safe. We can do this. Muscles you can re-engage." So it's this weird feedback loop we have where if you have knee pain, your quads are probably going to be the muscles around that joint are probably going to be weak. So if you have knee pain, that isometric will help turn turn those muscles on around the knee joint. So it helps with pain in the short term. So you can do it before you run and probably feel better. And two, J, it will not necessarily on tendon health, but it'll improve your body's it's the right way to say this. It will recruit all of your motor neurons that go to your muscles, right? So I have a patient right now. This is a cool story. This is wild, Jay. He broke his fibula during a race. So like it did just break it for no reason. Like he wasn't sleeping well. He was stressed. His diet was shit. His diet was horrible. So he had a lot leading up to this. And in PT, they thought it was just like a muscle that kept releasing it. He just ran a marathon, broke it, finished the marathon, and he was a lot of pain afterwards. So, but in a boot, in a cast, and it's been like 3 months now. But we're getting him stronger. But we're doing these isometrics because when he holds that position, Jay, I mean, it's just shaking. You can see the muscle like you can see his quad.
Yep.
It's shaking, but like you can see the different muscle. It's like it's turning on and off. Like it's kind of like we call it a fasciculation. So the point of this is, and this probably helps with turning the muscles on, doing these isometric holds, even the high load as well, it helps with that. But these low load ones, it just teaches your nervous system when you hit the ground when you're running, you want all of your muscle.
All the full recruitment.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want that
Yep.
full recruitment. So if you're
Yep.
running, like you're doing a calf raise and your calf's like shaky, 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 going especially going down, your calf's probably not recruit that your calf muscle is working. It's kind of like the current, like AC current, it's like on off, on off, on off. It's going slower than it should. We want all of the calf muscle fibers to just turn on at once and produce force.
The
Uh,
way I think of that is your muscle fibers, they turn on in patches all around you. And when you do isometrics, you get all of the individual uh, connected and separate patches to fire at the same time. So it's like you're using uh, your full brain power that is available for that muscle. Like you're
Yeah.
not just using like 10 or 20%, you're getting to use the whole thing. It's like it activates everything. I know that's a buzzword now, but it really does. It like turns on the muscle. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see that too. Like with him, it's still really shaky, but like I mean, day one, I think we just held like body weight. Like we didn't even add weight. Now I think I had him hold like a 35, and I mean, he's a big guy. He weighs like 190. He's a tall guy. He's lean, but he's tall. So I mean, for him, his 30% is of his body weight's like, I mean, that's like 65 pounds or something. So like we got to hold a pretty heavy weight for him to get to that point. He's still getting a benefit from it, Jay. It's just we're just kind of starting from ground zero because he was down and out for like 2 months, 2.5 months. Um, the other thing with the tendon um, is it will like holding it for like 45 seconds. The kind of a third thing it does specifically for tendons I believe the right word is it fatigues out. Like you have different, it's kind of like muscles. There's different tendon fibers, and when you have a tendon issue, typically it's not inflammation. Like yes, acutely it can inflame. I'm not saying it can't, but they heal through a different. They don't really heal through inflammation. They heal through a different mechanism that we'll get into in a second. But those tendon fibers, think of some of them as like the painful part. Instead of like a nice taut rope, it's kind of like a stringy rope. Like it's an untaught piece of rope that we want a spring that is taut and stiff. Like that's the tendon that's not functioning the right way. That's typically where the painful spot is. When you hold it for this long, especially we get heavier, like 50, 60%, it forces that tendon fiber to get used. The other ones fatigue out. It forces that one to get tensioned, and then that essentially the tension on the tendon from the muscle contraction that causes the healing to occur. Like it won't heal on its own. This is why people have had tendon issues for years. I'm like, you gotta load it for it to heal. So this is a really easy beginning spot. All the other stuff we talked about, fantastic. It's probably gonna help. It's probably gonna help the calf fire the way it's supposed to. But now we can, if you hold it long enough, 45 seconds, and heavy enough, you get this effect where it's tensioning that part of the tendon that's weak, and it's again, there's almost like no downside to it. So that's like the tendon specific side with these low load isometrics.
Yeah. And then so the thing that I've read about in the past was using collagen or gosh, what was the other option you could use? What's Jello made out of?
Um, Shoot, that's tough.
Um, uh, I can't remember, but like you could take you had two different options of things you could take.
Yeah.
And they're saying that the best protocol, again, is 10 grams of collagen, 100 milligrams of vitamin C, somewhere in the 30 to 60-minute window prior to lifting. And you get better collagen cross linking and tendon adaptation. So, in other words, from a nutritional standpoint, you have the materials necessary that when you do load it, it has what it needs in order to repair and build new fibers in the tendon and support the healing. And I mean, from what I've read, this is like really well researched and it absolutely works. Um, so I've started doing it when I do my tendon loading. I mean, it's very easy to do to buy collagen peptides and vitamin C 30 to 60 minutes before go to the gym, do your isometrics. And then if you're injured, my word to the athletes is what do you have to lose? Like athletes are constantly looking for a lifeline. Like, give me a lifeline, man. Whatever is out there, golly, I mean, I think that's really what we all want to do is not be injured. That's the worst.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, that's the area that I've really enjoyed experimenting with. And I want to talk more about the nutrition of that and a few other things. And also on this podcast, I'm going to put some uh, isometric protocols in the notes So if you have any, send them to me,
Okay,
and I'm going
sure.
to add some of mine. And then I'm also going to put a document that I'm going to talk about a little bit, which is my personal. I'm going to put what I'm taking supplement wise, when I'm taking it, why I'm taking it, what I feel like it does in the notes. But what do you think about that? 10 grams of collagen, 100 milligrams of vitamin C, 30 to 60 minutes prior.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might start carrying collagen in my clinic now.
You should. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, in my
It,
clinic, man.
it's it's not that expensive actually. So the one that I would suggest reaching out to that I really like is Blank's Nutrition. They're actually in Flagstaff,
Oh,
and
cool.
they make a collagen peptides that's just collagen peptides. I don't think there's vitamin C in it. Uh, but yeah, vitamin C you can get anywhere. And you just take a tab of vitamin C, collagen peptides, wait 30 to 60 minutes, go hit
Yeah.
your lift.
Yeah, and I mean so, we get different scenarios, Jay. Like sometimes we get a tendon thing. It's a quick flare up. You catch it early. Like it's 2 months, it's gone. Like that's best case scenario. I've seen some where I've had one in particular, both sides bilateral Achilles. I mean, it's been going on for years, and I ended up. And other things can cause it if your ankle's tight. Like there's other things like in the hip if things are weak. Like we want to make sure we're addressing above and below, which for the Achilles is typically above. But yeah, I mean, we worked together. I think it was for like 6 or 7 months. The last like 3 to 4 months, I'm like, just come back once a month. Like like we're just loading your tendon, and we come back in. We're change a few things up, and then we solved everything else. And the what she had to do was just simply load the tendon up. Which is it's boring, it's tedious, but that's how we have to heal it. And if you can get any extra little umph out of it, and like vitamin C, that's a safe thing to take. Like again, I'm not a
Yep.
dietitian, but if you take too much of it, you pee it out. Like I know it's water
Yeah.
soluble, and that there's no danger in that. Again,
Same with collagen peptides. If you overdo it, it's just you're just taking more than you can utilize. So I think there are a lot of people that want nutritional and exercise protocols where they can just do them
mhm,
and you can go to the gym, knock it out, or nutritionally, you just have a baseline of, hey, here's a good routine. And then you can pick out of that routine things you want to follow and things you don't. You can
yeah,
research it on your own. So that's kind of one of my goals is to give people um, a pre, post, during routine, give them a baseline of a daily, vitamin mineral stack that they could take and let them decide on their own. And then before we get into that, so I've had some success recently with a nutritional rhythm for an athlete, for runners.
yeah.
Um, and improving gut health. So I want to
Mhm,
talk about a couple of those things and share kind of what I've learned. The number one thing I've learned with gut health, and I've had several athletes try this, repeat it, and with amazing success, is a prebiotic. There's something called a prebiotic. So we all know about probiotics. Probiotics are like live cultures in there. All the things in kimchi and yogurt and fermented things. Um, a prebiotic, though, feeds on, or the probiotics feed on prebiotics. So prebiotics are soluble fibers, and fiber is so wiped out of our diets. There's
mhm,
one fiber in particular that comes from a plant root, and it's called inulin. So the funny thing about research is looking at it from a coach's eyes. I'm actually going to grab this real quick from
yeah.
my board. So this is a research study that I read. Anybody can look this up. This is a great one to read. It's called "The Physiology of Hunger" by Alessio. Fasano, MD. So it's a review article of different mechanisms of hunger. So reading it through a coach's eyes, I was able to pick out a very interesting tidbit in that research study where inulin was given to the participants. It's a soluble fiber, super safe. And what happened was small chain fatty acids increased in these participants.
Mhm.
Their insulin sensitivity went down. Their blood sugar was regulated better. They felt better. They lost 5 to 7 pounds, somewhere in there. And this wasn't a performance study. This was a normal people study. Um, but they felt better. And so I was like, I wonder from the coach perspective, how can I manipulate this for the athlete?
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's all I think about. Like I read these studies and then I go and think about what is the potential benefit for an athlete. So I started taking inulin. I noticed that I had less puffiness in my legs post workout.
Mm.
I also noticed that I got a little bit more vascular. Like I could see some more veins in my body. Um, I did lose a few pounds, not trying to. And I think the weight that I lost was systemic inflammation. And I think the reason my legs felt less puffy is they were less inflamed after workouts.
Yeah.
Similar experiences giving it to other athletes. Now, how come you've never heard of this?
Yeah, really.
Right? Like, if this is so great, how haven't you heard of it? Well, this is similar to sodium bicarb. So you've heard of sodium bicarb, right?
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
crazy. Everybody's taking sodium bicarb now. When I was in grad school, we studied sodium bicarb. This is 1970s research. They just now figured out how to make sodium bicarb not give you gastrointestinal distress. They figured out how to do it through this uh, hydrogel where it
Mm.
dissolves lower in the gut. Because previously you were just taking baking soda, it was dissolving all at once, and then you got this massive gut bomb, and you either threw up or you had diarrhea.
Wow.
So inulin is similar, except for there's no risk of diarrhea. The risk with inulin is it creates gas because it literally ferments in your stomach. It gives your probiotics something to feed on, and it creates a lining in your gut that dissolves food slower, and your nutrients get across the cell membrane slower, which means they dissolve better. So your bang for your buck with everything you eat when your fiber balance is good is
Mm.
like through the roof. So the benefits are amazing, but
Yeah.
humans are bad at two things. We're bad at being consistent. And if there's any level of discomfort associated with anything, we are out. We're out the
Yep.
back door. No, thank you. So, what happened is in the past, when people supplemented with inulin, there are gastroenterologists that treat with inulin with every single patient, but they dose it slowly and they ramp it up. The problem is most people just go headlong into it. They dose it too big, they have a tummy ache, and then they quit.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And from a nutritional standpoint, 100 years ago, we had way more fruit skins, pectin. Um, there's really good fiber in homemade sourdough bread. There's really good fiber similar to inulin in all the roots vegetables that you would eat. But we don't do that anymore. And so it's devoid of our diet, and these small chain fatty acids use fat better. So that's tip number one. Number two is controlling your hunger as an athlete. And I don't mean controlling it in order to eat less. I mean controlling it in order to eat better food. So, one thing I've started doing is front loading my meals with non cooked vegetables first. Like,
Mm.
so I'm talking about ordering your eating. Like, I'm not telling you what amounts to eat. I'm just ordering it for you. So if you want to eat super healthy, go non cooked veggies first with every meal. Next, eat your cooked veggies. Next, eat your protein. Very last, eat your carbohydrates. It's fascinating how much better, fuller, clearer
Yeah.
mind you feel, because what tends to happen is we hit the carbs first, we go protein, and then we hit our vegetables. But by the time you get there, your satiety for vegetables is very low because you're starting to get full.
Yeah.
So if you get them on the front end, it's much easier to eat at capacity with good food that has nutrients in it. Then you flow through the rest of your meal, and you actually feel better too. So thoughts on that? What do you think about that order?
Yeah, that's probably gonna work. At least for that's the thing, right? You don't want to eat your dessert before you before you want to eat your dessert first. Yeah, I mean it makes a lot of sense. Again, I try not to dabble in my content too much in nutrition, but from how like me and my wife eat, and I mean our son just eats everything, so he'll just he doesn't matter what he does. But yeah, I feel like that would work. And it is interesting too with the sodium bicarbonate, how yeah, I didn't know the history about that. How you could take it, you would just throw up or have diarrhea. Um, and I haven't, we stopped, ever since our son was born, we used to make kombucha. And I had just, I don't know why I had this issue, but I had a lot of bloating. Like I think it was like my sophomore year of college. Like it just, I would eat just a bunch of carbs and I had a horrible, it just sucked. Like I would eat something and just bloat like crazy. But kombucha was like that yogurt and kombucha like settled my stomach down a ton. But I feel like I would have. I eat a lot of fiber. I eat a lot of fruits now, so I feel like I have a good lining in my stomach from fiber. But yeah, I might look into that because I mean, yeah, who doesn't want to have who doesn't want to have a better gut health, especially too. I've been seeing more things about like colon cancer in people that are like in their 30s and 40s and
Yes.
50s and 60s, and like what else would cause cancer in your gut besides what you're eating?
Poor gut health is what is basically what they're saying is the problem. Yeah.
Which is wild. So I'm like, all the more reason that hey, eat clean, but it can be challenging. So that's the same thing with like creatine, right? Like, why do you take creatine? You get the creatine phosphate from meat, but a lot of us don't eat the required amount to like fill our cells with the amount of creatine phosphate. So we take it, and again, like I'm getting a benefit from it. Um, yeah, it's wild, man. I just never thought about taking a fiber supplement that's that could help out.
I think it's interesting because one thing with Run Free that we try to do is we try to uncover every rock. Like what are the things that we can do? Can we sleep well? Can we sleep better? Can we eat better? Can we lower stress? Can we do more in the gym? So I know you're a big part of that in terms of the 1%, like getting that right. But the so interesting to me that if you get your nutrition right, then your lifting's going to be better, and
Yep.
your overall strength work, you're going to get more bang for your buck. And if you sleep well, you're going to get that right. And
Yep.
they all like tie in together. So we only have a few more minutes, but I do want to cover uh I'm going to put all this in show notes with like or a lot more stuff too. So if anybody has any questions, they can email or follow up. But I
Yeah.
also wanted to share with you a pre-workout routine before races and workouts that
Yeah.
I've been messing with that I think is unbelievable. And granted, I am like what I want to do with myself is I want to do everything. I want to experiment. I want to mess around with stuff. And then I want to be able to download, and then somebody can pick and choose like what they want to do. Right.
Yeah.
Like I understand not everyone's going to do everything, and that's totally fine. So there's a supplement called Nomeo. Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
So it's a competitor kind of to sodium bicarb. And Nomeo is uh, intracellular, so it's inside the mitochondria, and it essentially is stopping the buildup of lactic acid, if I'm remembering correctly. Whereas bicarb is taking care of the byproduct of lactic acid, which is hydrogen ions. So
Yep.
bicarb is calming down the blood acidity. So it's making it less acidic, and then you can produce more lactic acid. Nomeo is actually slowing down the lactic acid production so that it doesn't accumulate. And you can take both together.
I
But
was going to
no,
ask. Big bowl.
yeah, but Nomeo is the cool thing is the question with pre run is no longer do these things work?
Mhm.
Because there's enough research. People are smart enough now where they're learning how to manipulate all these systems legally through food supplements. So the question is no longer do these work? They absolutely do. The
Mhm.
question is how many can you take? And then
Yeah.
the next question is what is the timing of it? Because at some point you reach a limit with your gut, right?
Yeah.
There's only so much you can drink and eat before you work out. So the cool thing about Nomeo is it's 3 hours before you take you
Wow.
work out.
Wow. Wow.
So it's only 3 ounces. So you've got the ability to do that one. Dietary nitrates, beetroot or arugula extract.
Mm.
So there's a oxygen mobilization. Um, they don't. It's not like a nitrates, like a nitrate sweat that like some. If you take too many nitrates, you like feel weird. So
Yeah.
this one you can take 2 hours before. Ketone IQ is a fourth macro, right? Ketones is an energy source.
Yep.
And you can take that one 90 minutes before. Sodium bicarb is also 90 minutes before. So you take those together. And then you can take that with caffeine. So you've got your pre stack. There's another one I'm going to experiment with. I forget the name of it, but it's a third manipulation to lactic acid. So I mean, it's an exciting time to experiment with different supplements. Now, all of these are things that affect you immediately,
Mhm.
right? Whereas like so what if you don't do the training, you don't sleep well, your gut health's poor and you eat terrible. Like I wouldn't even mess with these things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what's the point if you're not going to do all the basic things. Like that's what I think you start with. You start with the foundation. You start with your tendon loading, you're lifting proper, you're healthy, you're sleeping well, you're running well, and then you can add the 3 hour to 90 minute and get like that icing on the cake where you feel good and it affects you in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, those are just some fun things that I've been messing around with. And then also during workout, um, every 30 minutes, 200 calories is like the minimum, 50 grams of carbs. Like you're seeing that all over the ultra world, and they're going crazy with the numbers that they're taking
Oh,
in
yeah.
and marathoning. And I would suggest doing it during workouts absolutely as well, because you get a performance benefit from that. And then post workout, the recommendation now is at least 20 grams of protein. I'm adding collagen peptides to my post workout as well. Um, just from the standpoint of uh, even if you didn't go to the weight room and lift, you still got some tendon loading that you just did. like especially if you ran.
Yeah, but and a quick side story. I remember my high school coach was like, he never wanted you to drink Gatorade before a race. You're gonna cramp up or something you're gonna cramp up or something. And I remember once I just drank Gatorade before a run, like just on my own. Like I'm just gonna drink some Gatorade. And that was the best I've ever felt running. I mean, I did like a 7 mile run. I'm like, I was flying the whole. I mean, it felt so easy. I'm like, why am I not allowed to do this during a race?
Yes,
The heck?
100%. And then post workout, I'm doing inulin, 10 grams twice daily. And I take creatine as well, 5 grams twice daily, 2.5 to 5 grams twice daily. The only caveat that I've got with the creatine is some people do tend to gain weight with it. So as a runner, you just want to take the creatine, monitor your weight,
Yep.
make sure that you're not getting like a bunch of water retention in the muscle because that's counterproductive. Like you don't want to gain 10 pounds or 8 pounds or 5 pounds of water weight. So I found my sweet spot is somewhere between 5 and 10 grams a day with creatine. How much are you taking?
I just do 5 a day.
Yeah,
I haven't noticed anything. I've noticed because I know sometimes bloating too, like someone will bloat. I've noticed nothing with that. I know some people. I've heard some people. They'll what do they do? They will not dose it. There's a protocol that they follow where they'll take like 20 grams a day for like 2 weeks, just like get it, and then they'll taper off of it like
they'll
before.
load it. Yeah,
So like
yeah,
they'll use it essentially like to me, creatine again, this is like the most studied one ever, but like you take creatine, it will allow you to have that essentially it'll allow you to have more of a kick. So like if you're doing interval workouts or temp or threshold, you could probably run at a faster pace when you take creatine. And you might be able to do an extra set or two and then like that'll help it'll essentially make you more fit runner. Allow you to have more effective workouts that will then help you with whatever your target race is if you want to taper off of it. So that
yeah,
there's so many benefits too for like maintaining lean muscle mass that I think runners also would probably benefit from. But yeah, I don't know, I'm a big fan of creatine for runners. I think as long as you can
yeah.
manage and you're not bloating, if you're taking 20 grams, that's a lot. Like again, I'm 5 grams a day. And I've had no side effects.
If you're gonna take it regularly, there's no reason to load it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like you're gonna get to the point where you're in a good spot. And loading it can create that same discomfort that too much sodium bicarb or inulin or yeah, you can have some issues there. But this creatine's not new either. Like I was taking creatine in high school in 1996.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, this stuff is not new, but it's funny how like pop culture cycles back through and makes it like super popular again. And it's like the miracle thing and whatever. So anyway, but I do think you can get tremendous benefit from it as well. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I had. I mean, I've got a ton more about like potential supplements that you can take and how to dose them and how to protocol and then there's a really interesting thought process too that I'll put in the show notes where you actually lower your fiber content on purpose
Mm,
2 to 3 days before a race, just to ensure that you don't have gut issues during the event and to give yourself like there's also a thought where and this is a complex thought that I feel like a lot of people struggle with paradoxes
mhm.
where you do one thing in one scenario and another in another, and then you go back to that other thing. So with the inulin and gut health, like the recommendation is actually like take it most of the time,
Mhm.
but you have a metabolic and a mechanical stress in your gut. So when you're taking inulin, uh, there's a lot of fermenting and activity happening in your gut. That metabolically is a good thing. Like it calms you metabolically because things are absorbed slower, and it's like your gut's not working as hard. But
Mhm.
mechanically, your gut is fuller
Yep.
because there's more activity with the prebiotics and probiotics, creating gas and creating activity. So there's this thought process where at some point you do want to have a low fiber diet for 3 or 4 days. And what happens is the mechanical stress goes away, but because it's only a few days, it doesn't go back to that high level metabolic stress.
Yeah.
So you get a mechanical break, but your metabolic doesn't creep up. And like if you have no fiber in your diet, your body is like on high metabolic stress level.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Like
I
it's
bet.
super high stress level because when you eat, things are rapidly absorbed. Your insulin spikes a ton. Like everything's running like so fast it doesn't need to. So you can cycle it. Like, and that's why people struggle, I think, is they're like, oh my gosh, I actually have to think about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Basically,
is good.
every
It's
day, man.
good. Yeah,
Simple.
it's good pre-race to cycle, go, low fiber. And you'll see this with a lot of pro athletes. They'll go to like Chipotle for a day or two before a big race, and they'll have like plain chicken and rice, and that'll be the meal. Because rice is super low fiber, chicken's low fiber. So you get some protein, you get some carbs, you absorb it really fast, and you lower that mechanical stress in the gut, and then you start actually running wise. Uh, you want to process it fast. But I would argue this too. Don't think of fiber as making you process food slowly all the time either, because you could easily have a low fiber dinner before a big workout. You can microcycle it too. You can do a low fiber dinner the night before a workout, no fiber in the morning, and you're going to absorb super fast, which is what you want for a high intensity workout. And then you can get right back to your fiber that afternoon. So you can do a microcycle and like a bigger kind of 4 or 5 day cycle too. But
Yeah. No, that
well,
makes sense.
well, sweet man, you got anything else on the body?
Um, we didn't go over the high load isometrics. I can quick talk about it. It's just
Yeah,
you're pushing against something that's not going to move. Like if your case, if you're doing the Smith machine, you just load up enough weight to where you can't move it, or honestly, you just don't even undo it. You're just pushing against something that's not
yep,
gonna move. Typically, I'll do a split squat, and I'll have people like in a squat rack with the J hooks low, and then the bar's kind of like a hex bar is actually easier to do because then you don't have to like the bar's not in your crotch area, but you're just doing a split squat and you're pushing against something that's not going to move, and you can push as hard as you possibly can for like that 5 to 10 seconds. Essentially, you that starts to that adapts the tendon. It really helps teach runners to produce force from the ground quickly. A lot of same things teaches the muscle to contract forcefully, isometrically, and it's position dependent. So a lot of this actually honestly I see a lot of Olympic weightlifters do this. They'll get in their bottom position and they'll do the same thing. They'll push up like they're doing a front squat, but they're in that like deep squat. Cool thing is runners, you don't have to do that. We want to be in that like 30-degree knee bend. So you
yep,
go 25, you go 35, right? You want to hit those positions your knee's going to be in when you're actually running. Typically when your foot's underneath you is when the most force is through your body. So yeah, 30 degrees is it sounds like that's like the perfect number. But yeah, I just want to touch on that really quick.
yeah. That's the overcoming, and like I saw some stuff with Clayton Young and Connor Mance doing that before their Paris build up.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple athletes really enjoy the overcoming. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
I do
like that
that
a lot too.
all of both those, the low and high load. I do that all the time. Even like just your casual runner, I'm like, we're gonna start pushing heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Push as
Yeah.
hard as you can.
It's so safe. And it honestly, the feeling afterwards for somebody that hasn't done it before is like, it's like a wake up. Like your body feels awake and you start to be able to feel your muscles better.
Yeah, and when I do it too, you don't get like your muscles not tired. It's almost like I've deadlifted heavy. Like like my nervous system feels like ugh.
So
I feel like I'm just mentally fatigued after doing it. Um,
yeah.
if you want to sleep good at night, do that. Actually, I might have my wife do that because she's been complaining ever since.
Haha, yeah. That's
Like, you're gonna do
awesome.
some high load ISOs, and we're gonna get you to sleep.
That's awesome. Yeah. Anything to sleep better for sure.
Yeah, apparently
All
the
right,
cold.
dude. Well,
That also helps.
Uh,
That's what she tells me.
what did she say?
The cold plunge that helps too.
Oh, to sleep well.
For her, I think it does. I'm seeing some research
Yeah.
on it. But that's a topic
Like
for
when does she do it?
she
Like
did. We do
right
it for
before?
men. Yeah, we got one in our base. Well, we have like a cheap
Oh,
one, but like I just throw ice cubes in it. Sometimes I'll take some water out, and the hose is like 45 degrees, so the hose is freezing. And then I just
wow.
it's just yeah, it's cold. But yeah, we do it right before bed, and she said she sleeps better. I'm like,
I think it would be hard for me to warm back up.
oh yeah, she needs like 5 blankets. She takes all of the
That's awesome.
blankets in the house, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just fine. I'm like, I can walk around, just like shorts and a t-shirt after. And she's like, I'm freezing. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. You wanted to do this.
Yeah. Hey, whatever helps you sleep better, I'm all for.
That's a topic for a different day, man. I could talk about
Yeah.
cold plunge and why runners should do it and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Well, sweet man. Hope you have a good afternoon, and I'll shoot you a message when we got it posted. And maybe email me anything you have on isometric protocols.
Yeah, the protocols. Yeah, I think that'd be a cool thing to do. Yeah, because I'll make sure it says the overcoming and the yielding. I know
Yeah.
those are the two different kinds.
No, I'd love to learn some more.
I might just have to make it quick too. Are you guys doing run free camp again?
We are. Yep. Hold on, I'll tell you the dates. June 10th through the 14th are the dates.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let
So
me, I don't know, I don't know if you guys invite someone new every year, but yeah, if you want a tendon talk, again, if you want me to come back out, I could do it. But I know you guys, you might get someone new every year, but
let me ask Mark what he thinks. He's the camp director now. I'm just a lowly participant.
did I meet Mark there? Did I meet Mark?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Mark
Yeah, yeah,
Fairley.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Man, Mark's
yeah,
awesome, man.
he's running the show.
Yeah, yeah. Ask him, see if he wants, because I could talk about that. And then my new book on foot health, it's almost done actually. It just took a back burner because kid was born. I actually know what? No, we're moving our house and we're opening up a Frederick office because like
I
my
saw that. Yeah, I saw you're opening a new
there's
office.
spackle on the wall
Congrats.
there. So I'm like, this is my home office. I just can't treat here anymore because it just doesn't have enough bedrooms. So I had to suck it up. So that's taken like all those, and we're putting our house in the market, getting a new house, I'm like, I have no time to write this book. So
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be done by then, but yeah, we could dive into like tendon stuff for sure, and then I could hit some other topics that maybe
sweet.
like tendon stuff. We could kind of go into like the different kinds of training, like jump training, like plyos and like we could make a really solid if you guys are cool with that. Like we could really dive into
Yeah,
like because those things I think are beneficial. Yeah, foot health is great. Like maybe we could talk about that too, but loading, maybe just call it loading for runners and just like have all these broad
yeah,
topics. 'Cause I think
love it.
that is the future of keeping run. I think it's the future of keeping runners healthy. Like mobility stuff,
Yes.
great. Voodoo floss band, scraping tool, like all that is great. But I think a big bang for, and again, almost no risk is load your body to prepare for running. Like that's
Yep.
boom.
100%. Sweet man.
All right,
All right.
dude.
Well, sounds good. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, man. Have a good one.
All right. All right. Later. Bye.